Okay, hello everyone, welcome back again. So in today's tutorial, we're still building the Flask app with what we did previously. And then this Flask app is going to help us detect whether a comment, a YouTube comment, is a spam or is a ham. So let's check something like this. So great tutorial, but check this out. Right? That's what we did previously. And then it's going to tell us this is a spam. So if you try again with something different, it's something like, let's say, cool song, is going to tell us that it is not a spam, right? So that is what you'll be building with the Flask and then the sklearn. So let's work with it. So first of all, I have this. I've created a folder. Inside this folder, I've created is our data, right? The one that we worked with in the previous tutorial. And then let's see. Okay, so now I'll create another file inside the root of it, and I'm going to call it as save it, and then I'm going to call it as app.py, right? App.py. So the extension is py. So this is where all the work is going to be done, right? For the Python itself, for the Flask itself. And I'm going to create another folder. So I'm going to open a new folder, create a new folder. I'm going to call it as templates. And then I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call it as static, right? Static. Then inside my static, I'm going to create another folder called CSS, right? Where I'm going to place all my CSS. Okay, now I'm done with it. So let me cancel it. So you see that that's already created it perfectly for us. So now let's start to create a Flask app. It's just like this. First of all, you need to install Flask. So if you don't have Flask, you can just install it by pip install FLASK, right? To install the Flask, right? You want to install Flask for you. You can also use virtual environment. So after installing, it's going to be like from, let me increase the size. So from Flask, import FLASK, right? So that's the first we're going to import, and we're also going to import render underscore template to help us with the template, and then URL underscore 4, and then the last one is going to be request, right? So this is what we are going to be importing to help us with our app, okay? Because the request is for making requests to and then from the website. Okay, now after that, let's move on to creating our actual app. So it's going to be, we're going to initialize it. So creating a class of app is called to Flask, to bracket the name, referring to the name itself, and then inside you're going to place an if main. So this if main is going to be called as app.run, and then there's going to be debug. Because we are in a development mode, debug is going to true. So after you're finished, you can just take it off, right? So that it works straight away, and then you put your port there. At least if you are deploying it. So everything is going to be here. All that work we are going to be doing is going to be between this and then this. Perfect. Now that is the first thing to do. So first of all, to create the Flask app, is just going to create a first decorator. So decorator, right? It's going to be a decorator. We're going to call it as app.route, because Flask usually use route. And then inside this, we're going to place slash, right? That is going to be a slash for the home. And then we're going to create a function called function home. And then this function will take no arguments. And then they're going to call it as return. Let's create something. So hello world. This is the ML app, right? So perfect. So that is nice. So let's try and run this to see whether it's going to work. So let me close this, and then let's open it from our actual file, which is here. Realize that it's app.py. So we go to Python app.py. So it's going to open it from here. Let me close this. So restart and restart. It's going to give us information, so it's perfectly working. So if I go back to my file and I go to this URL, so you copy this URL here, right, and then paste it here, which is your local host. So 127, and then this. That is telling, it is showing this hello world, this is a ML app, which was what we typed here, right? This is what we typed here. So if I change anything here to make it Flask, it's going to, and I save it, refresh it, refreshing it, it's going to detect a change, then it's going to reflect it. So that has brought the perfect change here. Okay, now let's move on to building the actual app itself, right? That's the first thing. So let's create a template, a home page, because we cannot always be going to where we're going to have the predict, the result, as well as the place we can create the predict. So to do that, we can just add this render template. Then inside this place, we're going to pass in our home.html, right? So let's create our home.html file inside our template. So we go inside our folder template and then create our HTML. So save it inside our template, which is very, very important. It's supposed to have this name here. So we're going to save it as home.html. So we're going to create HTML. I'm going to call it as a ML Flask app, right? So whatever I'm going to paste here is going to be reflected. So let's say that's going to be so h2 and spam detector for you to comments, right? Perfect. So if I go back here and I refresh it, let's check it here, seeing the changes. So now it's working perfectly, there's no errors. And see that it's showing here spam detector for YouTube, which was what we typed here, right? Perfect. Or inside our home file. So now we are done with one. So let's create another file for the results. I'm going to save it inside our templates. I'm going to call it that results.html, and then we're going to create. You can create a layout so that it becomes simple, but because we are just doing it very fast, we just go with this. Okay, so it's going to be our h2, right? Results, and then it's going to be our h2. So that to create, so we are going to just copy the same thing here and then create it as this, right? So we're going to call it as predict. That is the URL that you want to be, and I'm going to call this name as result, which is referring to this. So if I run it again, just seeing the changes, it's telling me it's going to give me an error. So I'm supposed to make change this name because and call it as predict. Perfect. So let me run my app. Then when I run it again, oops. Okay, don't worry. So 127, perfect. So that is working there perfectly. So if I want to move to this result, I can just go with slash predict. Then it's going to bring our result, which was this result here. Perfect. Now we are done with the basics templates about it. Now let's see what we can also do by including that what we did for the things inside our data here, the text classification, the model building, and then include them inside our app. So to do that, you can just copy them and paste. So I'll copy them and paste it under this place, right? All those things that we did. Copy them and paste it here, right? I'll be pasting them here so that you can work with it. Perfect. So I've pasted it so that we can save time. So first of all, we are going to do our importing of all the packages. So from Flask, which we did previously, and then we're going to import pandas as PD to be able to read our file. Pickle, this may be important, but it may not be needed because job lib and pickle are the same thing. Job lib is from sklearn, and then our model classifier as well as feature extraction, right? Account vectorizer to convert the comment into vectors. Okay, so we understand this for the home, and now we understand this. Now we're going to be placing all these things. So this thing can be done in a simple way by saving them into models and then importing the models here, or we can just go straight away and define it from here. So I'm going to, this is a file, the file from our data here, which was this file, right? So I'm going to import this file directly here, or I can actually link it to this data here, right? And then after that, I'm going to pick from it only the content and then the class, because these are the most important. The content contains the comment and the class contains the classifier. So the content is going to be our features, and then our class is going to be our df underscore y, right? So we're going to be converting our comment, which is our features, into vectorizers using this format. So corpus is body, so equating it to the x, and then using count vectorizer to fit and transform the entire data into vectors. Then they're going to pass them, make it bigger, going to split them into training and then testing data here, and then use the classifier, right, naive based classifier, which is very useful for test classification, to fit our training features and then our training label, right, our y train. And then after that, you're going to check the accuracy. This may be important but may be ignored. So that is one way of doing it. So the alternative method is either instead of you doing all this plenty stuff, you can save your model. There's a video on how to do that, and then you can import that model. You can import that model straight away into your system, right? So, but suppose you make sure that the model is within the same file, then you use the scikit-learn job-lib to load it and then run straight away. So that is for the machine learning part, right? Okay, now how do you make the Flask app see what you are doing? So we are going to be using request.method. So request.method takes several arguments. So the request.method is from Flask, we imported from here, and then we are going to use post, right? We have get and post. We're going to use post. So we are going to get the comments from the home page here, and then send it to the app, and then return the result back, right? So let's create the home page. So let me copy and paste so that it becomes simple. Okay, so now this is just CSS and HTML, which is not very important. The most important thing is a form. So we're going to create a form. So in creating a form, we're going to be using URL form. So the URL form is going to redirect us to this predict, right, which was here for this place. This predict function that we created, and then this predict here, right? That is the purpose of the URL form. It's going to redirect us to that place. And then we are using the method post as our post request. So whatever you're going to be typing inside our form will be saved inside this name, right? Comment, and then this comment will be sent to this predict function through post. That is the purpose of this thing. So if the request method is equal to post, that is what is coming. Then take the comment, the request.form from the form, take the comment name which was saved here, and then put it as data, then transform them, convert them to arrays, and then use it as your data and apply your model, the model that we have here, the cliff here, which was our naive based model, to predict it. So after predicting, it's going to store it as my prediction, and then render that prediction on the result page. That is the purpose of it. So it's going to send it here on our result page. So this is just a normal function. So in Flask, it's just like this. We have some two things to understand. Let me comment it so that you can see it. So it's going to be like this. The normal Python is going to be like, if something is, let's say if a is equal to 1, do something, right? That is how to do the normal way of doing it. So in Flask we just use three things, so either this or the same as this, and then we have this. So this one is usually where you put our statements, right? So your functions, your conditions, you're going to put them in between this Ginger template, and then you are going to put our expressions or our output inside this thing. So that is the main thing. So whatever function you could have done inside your Python, you can just put it inside this expression, this statement, Ginger stuff. So that is the main idea about it. So let's work on it. Now comment it. So this is just a normal if condition that we are doing. So if the prediction which is coming from our app.py, this prediction here, right? If our prediction is equal to 1, then print this thing. That is a harm. Else if the prediction is 0, then give us what? A spam. And then we're going to close it with the end if. So if this was 4, for example, if it was 4, this is going to be 4 2 and 4, right? That is how to do it, just like in Julia. Okay, so it's going to be if this is not 1%, it is this, like that is the main idea about it. Okay. Now we are done with it. We understood the basics about it, and let's see whether our app is going to run perfectly. So let's go back to our app. Let's see whether it's still running. So it's detecting the changes that we have made, and then it's going to run perfectly for us. Perfect. So we see that it's running it perfectly for us. Now it is quite nice. So we can just add something. Let's try whether it's going to work. So create tutorial. We predict it. It's telling us that file not found. The reason the file is not found is that I forgot to import the YouTube data, which was here from here, right? Let's save this here. So that's to be able to read it. Now let's check and see what we have done so far. Okay, so perfect. It is now working. So now let's work and do something. Let's say good song or good tutorial, something, anything. So good song, and then it's going to tell us that's not a spam, right? Perfect. It's perfectly working. You have to realize that you have to uncomment this one out. That is if you are not using your imported model, right? That is if you don't pick your model, and you have to uncomment this one. So let's try something else, which is good song, but subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Let's see whether it's going to predict it. If it's a spam, this is actually a spam, right? Perfect. So now let's add some beauty to it. So to add a beauty to it, the CSS, we can just go to our static file, and then instead of CSS, we're going to create a file, and then we're going to call it as styles.css, right? So this is going to be here. We got the styles.css. So this is where we're going to put our CSS. So let me copy my CSS here. Perfect. Now inside you should make sure that it is being seen by our system. So how do you do that? You can just go straight away with this. So this is the Flask method, but you can also do it in this format. So link, right, and then you give us the href, the reference, right, to where your static file is, which is going to be this static, then css, then styles.css. but this format is good, but sometimes it may not see it well. So you can just use the URL for, which is the next one. You can just use the URL for, which takes two arguments. It takes several arguments. It's going to take the static, which refers to this folder here, right? And then the file name. So the file name is going to be CSS and then style. So the file name is found inside this folder and then this CSS. So there's another method of using it. So let me uncomment this and then comment this thing. Perfect. So now we can work with it, copy the same thing and then use it for our results. Perfect. Right. Now let's see whether it's going to work. Refresh our app, go back, refresh our app. Perfect. Now it's working perfectly. So the CSS has come. So we can just check something like nice tutorial, nice tutorial, forgotten it, for machine learning, right? If I go predict, then not a spam. So thank you for watching. So if you have any questions or contribution, you can just put inside the comment section so that everybody can benefit. So the idea behind it is that you first of all import your packages, flags, you initialize it, you build routes, the first route for the home page, and you create a template, right, for the home, which is going to be found inside your template folder, and then one for the results, all found inside the template folder. And I'm going to build another route with the predict. So under this place, you're going to put all that you can do in your machine learning when doing data analysis here. And then the next thing that is going to make it interface between your flags and then your data is use the if request method, right? This is the second thing to do. I'm going to render it perfectly. So this is what's going to make it respond well based on this, and to use this one. So thank you for watching and stay blessed.